Today, a fun little tribute of sorts to this video that looks at thermal properties of some drives when copying massive amounts of files. Now, the thing to point out in this video would be it's 205 gigabytes. And when I looked carefully at that video, I can actually see it's a Linux distro that anyone can download. So I'm going to need to show you that full screen, aren't I, so you can see it. So this is there you go, copy of OpenSUSE. Okay, we're done with full screen mode there. So that's it with a stopwatch in the bottom right. So I'm going to do the same thing with a twist. I'm not trying to show you temperatures today. I'm trying to first start with the speeds. So in that video it took, let's take a look here. Let's see if we can get it a little bigger. Let's just go to YouTube. That'll work. All right. For that person, it ended up taking minutes to do. And on the left is the SM951. I don't have those anymore. But on the right is the Samsung, sorry, I got that reversed. 950 is on the left. Theirs took longer, probably due to thermal throttling. So the other twist with my video is that, wow, we're talking 5+ minutes. So I'm thinking things are going to go faster with mine. The other twist here is that I've cranked my fan to high. So I went into the IPMI settings here, and I've done a bunch of benchmarking and realized that it's very easy to avoid any kind of thermal throttling on the Samsung 950 Pro. If I simply, there's our temperatures and stuff, but we have that other view of temperatures. What I really want to show you is configuration of the fan. And there, we cranked it to full speed, and then there's no issue. So this gives us an almost real-time view. It changes or refreshes the screen automatically every 15 seconds or so. So it'll be nice to look at while we're copying a huge amount of files. So do you remember the video? I said the key thing to notice was that it was 205 gig. Well, let's go in. You'll see it is OpenSUSE, same file that person was using. We highlight 2 folders that person made. Each had some files in there. And look at properties, and what do you know? We're at 205 gig. Now, he had 49 files. I have 47. Not sure why that is, but the overall copy job we're about to do from C drive back to the same C drive is the same as in that video. So, need to get that stopwatch ready. Copy. And paste. Okay. Got to clean up a little. That was kind of embarrassing. I thought I had enough. So, I've been working so much on this SSD that I'm filling it a little bit. All right, I've got a bunch of stuff in the downloads folder. I'm going to move over to Network Share. I'll be right back. Well, I've got no way to pull this off because I ran disk cleanup. Those are the only large files on this drive. So I'm going to change the order of things a little bit. And I'm going to move these to the D drive. And then I'll do my copy operations over there, not on my OS. Completely empty drive. Now this should also go quite fast, and this should be fun to watch in itself because we're reading and writing. Reading in a continuous stream and then writing. So writing is going to be the bottleneck. Here we go. So the paste is happening. It's saying the whole thing is only going to take 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Now, what kind of speeds is this drive capable of? Well, in a nutshell, I have it all right here. Here's the nutshell view. Sorry about that. I don't want to block the clock. Don't know how to do this. Just like that. All right. There it is. 1.5 and 2.5. Close to 2.6. So we know the speeds now. Can also have a look at what is this doing to the CPU. Well, because it's NVMe, it's pretty darn easy on the CPU, considering both PCI 3 by 4-lane devices are very busy, the M.2 and the M.2 that's in a PCI adapter. And you can see the disks are pretty darn busy doing this file copy operation. But what's kind of incredible to me is it's only going to take under 3 minutes. These are huge files. This is 42 copies of full Linux distro. It's just kind of amazing. So I'm obviously pretty happy to be sitting on the fastest consumer SSDs in the world, and even better, 2 of them where I can do a copy operation between the 2 and share that with you. So we're getting a rate of 1.3 or so, and then it moves up and down a little bit. And I already showed you that screenshot where 1500, so roughly 1.5 gig, is the most we could expect out of writes. So it's performing well, and we're not seeing it taper off in speed. If it was tapering, we'd have some evidence of a potential thermal problem. Now the fan speed has been cranked to high the whole time. Let me slide that over a little bit. I just want to show you that the 6800 RPM, that's not going to change. That's the highest fan speed we can do in the case. These other numbers are moving a little bit. It's done. So under 3 minutes, about 2 minutes, 50 seconds or so. And it held its speed the whole while. So it's kind of awesome. We go back to the C drive and we should see it has plenty of room. It does. All right, now is this less than half full? It is. So we can do that copy test I wanted to do, the one that's in that other person's video. So what am I talking about? Again, I'm talking about this, where the person is copying a whole bunch of files that totals 205 total. So I'm copying the same files to get the same effect. So here we go. Copy. And right click, paste. Okay, so it took about 5 minutes instead of 2 minutes 50 seconds. It feels like it could be thermal throttling, or we don't really know. But at the beginning, there was a hump. It was going faster for, I think, about 15 seconds. So what can we conclude from this? It seems like if I have a large fan blowing right at this PCI card with the M.2 on there, that I might do better with the same exact test. So I'm going to hold down Shift, hit the delete key, permanently deleting those 2 new folders we created. Massive amount of data. And we're back to where we were, 271 gig. I'm also going to run this, Samsung Magician, to see how I'm doing on the abuse of my drives. 4.4 on that one. And the lifetime is only 400. Now, benchmarking is wicked unusual, and this is a crazy amount of data we're using and copying. So I'm not going to keep doing this too much, right? But I do want to just see if a fan's going to make a difference for me here. So I'll be right back to set something up. Okay, that ought to do it. Now I touched my thumb to the chip around the sticker and on the sticker. It didn't feel at all warm, but of course it had time to cool off. But I've taken the lid off, obviously, and put a giant fan on full speed right next to it. All right, so let's just try again. Here we go. Copy, right click. Now I just wait. I'll speed up the video a bit and we'll see how long it takes this time. Okay, this time I'm ready on the pause button. So about 5 minutes again. So that dip we saw in speed after the first few seconds was the same in the second run. Has nothing to do with temperatures, what this seems to indicate. So that's good news. Or bad news, depending on how you want to look at it. But anyhow, so balancing I/O across 2 drives, meaning all reads on the C drive and all writes on the D, that worked fantastically. Copying 205 gig of data in 2 minutes and 50 seconds is just astounding. Doing a copy from the same drive back to itself wasn't as amazing, for sure. Ended up taking 5 minutes. Back to that person's video. How long did it actually end up taken them. Let's see, when did it finish? There we go. So on their Samsung 950 Pro, it looks like it took something in the order of 6 minutes. Now, I don't know much about why that would be, or maybe the fan situation looks like it had a thermal camera aimed at the motherboard, and maybe no fan was running or airflow at all. Don't really know. Here's one other piece here that you didn't get to see, but I feature that in another video, and that is
Samsung announced a new family of ultra-high-end SSDs today, dubbed 950 Pro.
Did not mean to do that. All right, the thing I didn't get to show you was this. Why isn't that opening? Because it's always on top. There we go. So 64 watts is what we're burning now, just kind of sitting here. Let's just copy a single file. And see what that does. So you're seeing a real-time view of how many watts this computer is burning. 56 watts now at idle, CPU doing nothing. So let's see what happens when I right click and paste. It goes from 56 to 64, but it was so brief you could barely tell. It's just insane how fast this is. So yeah, I'm done here. I've abused the Samsung enough. The last test might be to do some 10 gigabit tests from one identical server to another. That will be fun. But as far as benchmarking and abusing these drives in this system, I think I'm ready to shut down and call it a night for this series of tests. It'll also be fun to watch the video to see how much the CPU temp went up. I'm not really sure about that. I do have a PC bench test to do on here as well when I add a GPU in the PCI slot. And I want to do a power on test, a boot speed test. How long does it take Windows 10 to boot for the motherboard on this? So hopefully you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching and for visiting tinkertry.com.